For generations you've slept. No purpose, no call to wake you. But now, something has risen from the ruins of the old war. The twin queens, the sisters, have sent their most beloved commander, Vor, on an urgent mission. To protect the twisted crusade they have begun. To transform the scattered colonies into an empire. To see that the Tenno, hidden and asleep, will never awake.
I got caught.
Well, alright. With that, hello, my name is Todd Walker, and I'm also known as Magimech, and this is Warframe. If you've never had the chance to play this game before, I highly suggest you do, and I'm planning on making a video series where I go through playing all the quests, doing every mission, kind of just getting a feel of the land for people who've never seen it, or maybe are thinking about playing, and I hope you guys enjoy watching this. The first step for when you play Warframe is, of course, choosing your Warframe, unsurprisingly. You have a choice between Excalibur, pretty much an all-rounder. He's the guy you see in a lot of the adverts for this game. He's very good and balanced overall, so it's never a bad choice to choose him. You've got Meg. She was recently buffed and is actually far more powerful than she used to be. But she's definitely not my favorite. And then you've got Volt, who is kind of an underrated character until you reach like max rank and endgames content. It's really kind of a shame that a lot of people don't pick him because he's extremely useful. So in that vein, I'm going to choose him.
Wake up. Tenno.
Yes, wake up.
I see the Lotus has tried to wake you. Pity she's too late. You're my prize now, Tenno. No. We are taking this one with us.
What has he done to you? I can't lose another Tenno. I'm surging your Warframe's power systems. Quick, use your power. Defend yourself.
Sensitivity. Oh, it's so bad. Pretty much as it states, use your first ability to defeat these guys. It should be self-explanatory. Oh god. If I can aim at them. Alright. Okay, so...
An extraction ship is on its way, but the Grineer will be hunting you. Arm yourself.
I will do that. First things first, you pretty much have every ability that you kind of need anyway to start and move around right off the bat. So you can do some pretty crazy stuff with your abilities. You are a ninja, effectively. Every frame, regardless of what they look like or kind of how they are, can do pretty much the same thing when it comes to movement. and that'll be pretty critical throughout the entirety of this game. So play around with it, have fun. First, I'm going to go into settings and try and fix the sensitivity. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, that definitely doesn't need to be that high. Let's go down to 4. I'm also going to take a quick look at my key bindings just to make sure. Quick melee, melee attack. Yeah, that seems alright. I wonder if that carries over. Yeah, it seems it does from my other account. Your controls may not look like this, so you may decide to change them. I have them set up like this just because it's convenient for me. Alright, let's get back into it. If you're really confused about what you're supposed to be doing right here, it's just moving forward. Follow the waypoints, it's not super hard. These menus here are actually really useful. You can actually look at the abilities that your Warframe has and your combos if you had a stance, but you don't even have a weapon yet, so let's start with that. Hold left shift to sprint, self-explanatory. Oh, I don't have that set to toggle. Huh, okay. Well, that's another thing I need to change real quick. Gameplay, nope. Let's see. There it is, toggle sprint. You can set that on. I really like it just because I don't have to hold the button all the time. Okay, let's go. Unsurprisingly, it's space to jump. Now, for your first weapon choice, you can choose either the bow or the skana. Both of them are just fine. What you pick here doesn't really affect later game stuff, so just go ahead and pick whatever you like. It's Q for me anyway, for melee attack. Yours may be different. So throughout the series, I kind of plan on going over stuff that might help newer players. If you're a veteran to this and you're just looking at this to see kind of what I'm doing, you probably don't really need to listen to me all that much, but that's okay. C for me to crouch. Q for stealth takedowns. They only work if the enemy hasn't seen you.
There's a cache of weapons ahead. Grab what you can.
Thank you, Botus. There's a visual cone for every enemy, so if you haven't walked in front of them yet, you can stealth attack them, and that's pretty useful. I'm going to favor going silent here. So if you pick a pistol instead of the kunai, pistols are loud weapons, which means that they alert enemies when you use them. So I'm going to go quiet, at least just for starting. Hold the aim and shoot.
The extraction
Simple,
point
right?
is up ahead. Hurry before Vor finds out you've escaped.
So kunai are kind of an interesting weapon because you actually need to reload them. You can see down in the lower right that I actually have a ammo count for my kunai, which kind of doesn't really make a lot of sense for a thrown weapon, but it's something that they do for balancing all the weapons. That right there is what we call a slide. It's just crouching as you're moving. Very easy to perform.
Salvage team, why have you not reported in?
Probably because they're dead, Vor. That guy who just talked was Vor. He's going to be the main protagonist of this first little section here.
Take what you can. You will require resources to build yourself into a diverse and effective warrior.
Boy, is that the understatement of the century. You're going to need so many resources throughout this game. It's kind of insane. So anytime you see these little caches like this that have deposits, you're going to want to break those. These chests like this typically just have ammo or, health or mana in them, or energy as they call it in this game. And that's not as useful, so you don't really have to open them. Same with these containers. But I'd always break those deposits, because those are typically just always resources.
You made it. There's the extraction ship.
So much for the easy way out.
You're not ready to face war now. Use your melee weapon to block the beam and get inside.
So, what she just told me there, or what the thing just said there, more specifically, is that you can hold F to switch to your melee weapon. This allows you to perform melee-only actions, like blocking with the right mouse button, and channeling your weapon, which does more damage with the left mouse button. At least that is for me, anyway. This allows you to effectively deflect attacks, which is extremely useful.
Force beam or divert it with your melee weapon, Tenno.
That will not happen. My decrepit heart is pounding. This one is stronger than the rest.
Deflecting
now
attacks
hear it down. This Tenno is mine.
Is pretty much what you'd expect.
Quick, get to the console and release the lockdown. Do that, and I will guide you to your old ship. It's your only chance.
The Queens wants to destroy you, but I need to know more.
You can pretty much block bullets, melee attacks, just about everything you'd expect. They still do damage to you, but at a much reduced rate, which is extremely useful. It'll be something that, if you're really worried about dying, will help you greatly in the later game.
Tenno, you need to go to the console to release the lockdown.
There's kind of a lot of things here, Lotus. Alright, so my use key there is E. Again,
Get out of there,
I don't
Tenno.
know if that's the
You'll have to
standard
face
one.
war
Pretty sure it
another
is.
time, when you're fully restored.
We're near, my sons. Prepare the reinforcements. We need that Tenno.
Unsurprisingly, these guys are a bit of a pushover. Enemies later on.
The Tenno flows like fire over the battle terrain. Do you remember how to dash across walls?
May not be as simple. And as Lotus stated, Tenno flow. It's very important that when you consider movement in this game, you're considering that any type of stopping will massively slow you down. So, for instance, if I fall from a great enough height, I won't necessarily be damaged, but I will stop moving for an extended period of time, which is not great. As it shows here, and as I showed in the previous room, you can double jump. Unsurprisingly, it's exceptionally useful. You can also wall dash by jumping onto a wall and then pressing space or jump repeatedly. This allows you to jump up just about any wall. Let me just deal with this guy here, and then I'll show some more complicated movement. We're going to pick up our primary weapon here in a second, but as I stated, let's show off some more impressive movement. So the thing about Warframe is all about how you choose to combo your movement together, which can be greatly affected by what you choose to do at what time. So just a basic movement combo would be to slide and then jump, which becomes what we refer to as a bullet jump. And then by holding the target key or shoot key or block key, effectively you can aim glide, which slows down time that allows you to kind of glide through the air. It's greatly effective if you're trying to get across a long area, but not so much if you're just trying to make a small, quick movement. If you're just trying to make a small, quick movement, it's much better to just bullet jump and then double jump and then roll, which I haven't even gone over rolling, and that's by just tapping the sprint key instead of holding it, you can roll. So you slide, jump, double jump, and then you can roll. And that can get you great amount of speed while progressing you forward. You're going to see me do this quite often throughout this. Another thing is if you need to extend your distance, you can slide, bullet jump, aim glide, double jump, and then aim glide again, which gets you insane amounts of distance. There's pretty much no gap in this game that you can't jump over, as seen there. So for our primary weapon, same as last time, I'm going to go the silent route just because early on I think it's more entertaining.
I'm not sure what Vor has done to your Warframe, but we cannot remove it now. Just keep going. Your ship is up ahead.
So unlike the kunai, the bow actually has a charge mechanic, which allows you to pull back the string by holding down the shoot button while aiming, or even not aiming. And this allows you to charge up the bow, which does more damage when released. It's almost never really worth it to shoot an uncharged bow shot. And bows can be used pretty much anywhere, really. So the big thing about movement and attacking in this game is you don't have to stop moving to, attack. You can still be sliding around, bullet jumping, and doing crazy stuff while also attacking. So use that to your advantage. You're a smaller target while you're sliding than any other time. And it should also be noted that if you hold a charge and you roll, you release that charge, or if you reload or press the reload key, you let go of that charge. However, another thing to note about rolling is rolling actually has invincibility frames, meaning that while rolling, you aren't able to be attacked. That's really useful later game. It allows you to get through some barriers and obstacles that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. Let's just take out this wimpy Grenier and move on. So effectively this is just telling you again that you can cycle through your weapons by pressing F, for me anyway. Your key may be different, but if you press that key it'll cycle through your weapons, and if you hold that key it'll cycle to your melee weapon. This is pretty crucial when you're trying to make sure that you're using the right thing. Just don't get it mixed up in the middle of combat like I've done. One thing to note about
your ship. Hurry. Vor's reinforcements must be on their way.
About Volt here is he's got a little buff up in his upper right corner of the screen, which every time you move around, you increase the amount of damage you do. So it's actually kind of good on Volts to move around a bunch if you're not thinking you're going to do enough damage to hurt something, and then attack. Which is why the bow kind of complements him a little bit more. That's a big old number. That number there wasn't white like a lot of the numbers you see. It was yellow. Yellow means that it crit.
Disengage the suppression system so we can restart the ship. You'll have to bypass the security on that panel.
And now we're introduced, I believe, to hacking? Yes, so hacking in this game is very simplistic. It's not difficult at all. You just kind of press space as it moves over these little objects here. There's also a small thing in the bottom there for ciphers, but I'll go into that later.
Stop touching me, you... What? Are my senses deceiving me? Operator, is that you?
Enemy reinforcements are here. Ship Cephalon, we require immediate extraction.
The operator is in danger? I will need a few moments to cycle the engines.
Keep going. Nobody knows you're here.
Tenno, are you afraid? You cannot hide from these old eyes. I've marked you. You will return to me.
The ship is ready. It's time to leave.
Operator, you have returned. I am Ordis, ship Cephalon, a shadow of my former self. I cannot serve the operator in such a condition. Order me to self-destruct. I will understand.
The Grineer are ravenous for this old technology. It is superior to theirs. Perhaps there are systems left in the orbiter compartment?
And here we get introduced.
Look at this mess. Those savages. Components have been removed. The lower orbiter compartments have no life support. Why did the operator abandon me?
To a fan favorite character,
Arsenal
Ordis,
management could be restored if the operator wishes it.
who keeps interrupting me. Oh, okay. Ordis is kind of the ship AI, which this here that we are in right now is your ship. As it is right now, it's not much, but we'll work on that. Overall, there are lots of things here to explain, and for most new players, getting this point is pretty daunting. Let's just progress.
You honor Ordis. Now I can supply the operator with better modded firepower. Oh, the violation. Those have been looted as well.
We need to figure out what Captain Vor has done to you and stop him, but we'll need help. I found a communication segment we might salvage for your ship. When you are ready, activate your navigation system.
Ordis hopes the operator will punish the Grineer for dismantling it.
So, from here on out, our objective is get our parts, build our ship. I'm just going to take a walk around just to kind of show you guys. Your ship's not very large, but it's very customizable. You can change a lot about your ship and how it looks. Let's see. Yeah, it allows me to do that right off the bat by going into this menu here, which we can decorate it, interior colors. I don't think I own anything decoration-wise. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to change this. That's too complicated. We'll worry about that another time, but effectively this menu here allows you to change what your landing craft looks like. We can change the colors. Yeah, random colors? Sure, let's go with that. And we can also go back in and change the color outside? Sure, let's make it random as well. Okay, now that our ship looks like puke, let's move forward. Oh god. Alright. We'll change that to something later. Eventually. This here is our navigation menu, which will be very important. So, our navigation menu is really the kind of the core parts of this game. First of all, you can see that there's a bunch of different planets, but we really can't get to any of them right now. The only one we can really be on is Earth here. I'm not going to really worry about the others until we kind of get to that point. For now, you can notice that if you mouse over this here, it'll allow you to see what resources you can get on this planet. And up here shows the objectives that you can do at this current time. That'll fill up more as the game progresses. Up here you can kind of see that there's a drop-down menu, which allows you to select what kind of game you're in. I would highly suggest if you're just starting out and you've never played this before that you kind of go solo, at least for a little bit, to get your bearings. Down here you can see that you can change your loadout, which we only have one at the moment, but that'll change. Effectively, this menu allows you to select missions, which allow you to progress in the game. So let's progress. So those little
The
cinematics.
segment you need is in a nearby data vault. Infiltrate the vault and retrieve the segment.
Those little cinematics.
The Ascaris is working, breaking through. I see the shadows of your mind.
If everyone would stop interrupting me for once, those little cinematics are just kind of a way to get into the levels. You can skip them if you so choose. You'll probably see me doing that a lot later on. So this first mission here is what they refer
This
to.
data vault is equipped with a variety of security measures. How you defeat those measures is up to you.
As Lotus said, there's a data vault. This data vault is because this is a spy mission. In this mission, it's our job to get in and get out stealthily and steal stuff. These are pretty common, have pretty good rewards, but a lot of people really don't like them because they, at a certain point, do require stealth. But up until that point, you can be as loud as you'd like. Go ahead and guns blazing if you want. So you'll notice that as I kind of move around, I slide a lot because it's actually faster than running, but that'll change as Volt kind of levels up. You'll also notice that I just got a buff for 22 seconds now. Says it's 100%. That is a stealth experience buff. When you get stealth kills, you actually get more experience for doing them. And I think that that's multiplicative, but I'm not really worried about it. Most of the time your kills won't be stealth kills anyway. As we're going through this, being a little bit sneaky, you'll notice, oh dear. Yeah, we've gotten some attention. Oh, or this den has gotten some attention. There are enemy infighting events in this game, and Kubrow's, as you can see by the Kubrow den, they don't like Grenier. I don't know if they like us, I don't think they do. I'm not going to worry about them. And yes, you can slide upstairs, however the hell that works. Alright, so we're making it to the first vault here.
You're nearing the console. Trigger the alarms now and they will start destroying the data.
So Lotus will tell you this every time you're in a spy mission effectively, but once you get to this hacking panel, which will get close to the vault, if you trigger the alarms after you enter this space, you will have problems. Hopefully for this first time around we can avoid that. So, this is your first instance of barriers. These things are super annoying. A lot of them won't turn on and off like this. As you can see, they'll trip the alarm and they'll drain your energy if you touch them. Your energy doesn't automatically come back. You have to get pickups to get your energy back. So this is greatly annoying. Let's just get through. Okay. I'm gonna mess that up eventually, I'm sure. Here's another... There we go. Avoid alerting enemies patrolling the vault. So, when you're in spy missions, there will often be enemies or things that can trigger the alarm. And it's very good to avoid them because if you don't, it'll start a countdown, which I prefer not to do right off the bat. I'm sure I'll run into that eventually, but... There's one. Let's kill him real quick. So you just saw me do a little bit of acrobatics because this water here, it sounds electrified, and that's because it is. Well, usually it is. I guess this time around it isn't. Usually if you stand in this water, it will hurt you. So basically you can walk around. There's a bunch of different ways in these spy missions to go. There's not just one way. If you notice, there's a little cave right here, which you can actually get to from the other side by just sliding in here. But we're just going to open the door and go to the vault. These hacking segments will get progressively harder as the game goes along, so don't think they're going to be that easy every single time.
Excellent work. A clean extraction with no alarms. The segment is yours. Head to extraction.
As every moment passes, the Ascaris burrows deeper, revealing you.
So, you might have just noticed it there, but I had a large thing flash as everybody was talking to me at the top of my screen, stating that I leveled up. And what that means is not necessarily that I got massively stronger, but that my frame and my weapon just got a little bit better. And leveling in this game is not like standard games. It isn't necessary for fighting high-level content. But it does allow you to do modding more, which, again, I'll come back to in a later point. Oh. More Kubras fighting some Grenier. Man, they must do a decent amount of damage against these guys. Let's not deal with them. Alright, if you want to shoot me, I'll shoot back, okay? Bring it. Because for some reason my bow can pierce through you and pierce through the wall. Physics, right? Boy, these Kubras are actually helping me out a lot. Don't attack me, don't attack me. No reason to shout. Oh god. Oh god, run. Run away. Run away. And that's the end of that. You really don't need to kill everything in a stage to get to the end. You just need to finish the objective. So as we're going into the next area here, you can take a look at this screen, which is very important, and I'll explain it here. So this screen is your mission success or summary screen. It shows you how much experience you got for each of your items. As you can see, my Volt's rank 1, my Paris is rank 2, my Kunai are rank 1, but they each got a certain amount of experience based on how much I used them and how many things I killed with them. I also got a bunch of credits, which are effectively this game's money, the comm segment, which we'll deal with here in a second, but I also got a bunch of mods. And again, the mods are a huge part of this game, but I'm going to go over them at a later date. It also gives you a summary of like how much damage you dealt, how much damage you took, how many kills you got, your accuracy, pickups, other things. It's a very useful screen for telling like what kind of things you've gotten from a mission or how much experience you've gotten so far.
Orbiter Void Cloak engaging. Welcome back, Operator. The Operator has recovered a segment. Install it now. Ordis patiently awaits its installation.
Get communications online. I must analyze what Vors Ascaris is doing to your Warframe. This technology is beyond the Grenier. It must be Corpus in origin.
Systems engaging.
I suppose this will do.
Ordis is grateful.
So,
the Operator is now connected with other Tenno in the system. The Operator may now contact black market scumbags. Contact arms dealers.
now we have the ability to...
Excellent idea, Ordis. Tenno, we need to make contact with a corpus defector sympathetic to the Tenno cause. They will, of course, require compensation.
You see what Ordis is referring to, Operator?
In this case, compensation will not be credits. It will be freedom. I've updated navigation. You will need to break him out of a Grineer gulag.
Well, we will do that here in a second, but now we have access to the market. Now, most new players often come to this point and they're like, market? Okay, so I can buy things from it? Well, yes and no. The market is effectively Warframe's pay system. Let's see. And that means that you can come in here and buy things with platinum or credits. And it should be noted that this is where you'll spend a lot of your time in-game, is searching the market, finding things you want to buy. Platinum is the game's premium currency, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the only way to get it is buying it. You can actually trade with other players to get platinum. But the main and most important thing about this is if you go to your categories, you can look up weapons and items that you can buy, and you don't have to spend platinum on these weapons. So for instance, the Bratton that I passed up earlier, I could buy it with credits. Or, for something like the Burston, which is a weapon I haven't seen before, I could come over here and, oh, it's platinum, but down here is the blueprint. So if I click here, I can actually buy the blueprint, which I can see what it requires to make it, and, you know, go from there. But currently we don't have... One second. Turn that off. Turn that on or off right there. You can buy blueprints, which allow you to craft weapons with a segment we currently don't have. So I'll come back to that in a bit. You can also access your CODEX, which your CODEX effectively is how you see quests, things you've run into throughout the universe, training, which is extremely useful for new players. I would highly suggest you read through a lot of this if you don't know how any of the systems work, and the different types of missions you can run across. These will give you kind of a refresher if you've never played the game and you really want to know how this works. I'd highly suggest reading up through the Codex, or even like a wiki, if you've really never played a certain thing before. That way you just kind of don't go in blind. Let's just move on to the next mission. Alright, our next mission would be liberate the imprisoned arms dealer. Let's do it.
The arms dealer is named Darvo. He's being held in the prison block on the other side of this factory complex.
So, effectively, let's go save him. This type of mission is what they refer to as a rescue mission.
How many Grineer slaves died to build this place?
I have no idea how many, Lotus, but rescue missions are effectively you go in and you're attempting to save someone. It'll be more cut and dry once you actually see it.
Darvo was out for himself, but he is sympathetic toward the Tenno. The Grineer must have found out.
The Ascaris is working, breaking through. I see the shadows of your mind.
Don't let Vor distract you. Focus on the mission. It's our only hope of figuring out this link with him.
So, effectively, there I just used a quick melee to kill all those guys. You can always do that at any point while holding pretty much any weapon by pressing the quick melee button, as was seen earlier. Let's get to where we're going. Let's speed things up a little bit, shall we? So just there, I did the combo, movement-wise, that I said I could do earlier, which was slide, bullet jump, double jump, and then roll. I'm going to be using that quite a lot, so don't be surprised if you don't know how to do that right off the bat. It's actually kind of a complicated movement set, and it's not as easy as it seems. But mastering it is very important throughout the game. And, you know, I've been playing this game for quite some time, and those ragdoll physics, I never get tired of them. Gotta go fast. One thing you might have noticed there is these doors are kind of wonky sometimes.
This is the prison block. If you can avoid detection by the warden, it may be easier to get Darvo out. Bypass the security so we can enter.
So, up until this point, it wouldn't have mattered if we were stealthy or not, just because stealth isn't critical. But after this point, after we open this door here, stealth is quite important because it'll start a countdown if we aren't stealthy. That tip right there is quite useful, especially for these rescue missions. This here is actually a zip line. You can get onto it by pressing your use key, which for me would be E. And you can run across them as you would with most other things. And you can also slide across them. But if you jump, you will jump off the line. And that right there is a warden. Let's see if we can take him out quietly. Oh yeah. Super simple. Let's just get in here. So I did just get a message there for kill all wardens. If you're in a rescue mission and you come into one of these areas where the rescue target is being held, there will be a number of wardens. If you kill all of them, you'll actually get a bonus to your experience.
Search these cells for Darvo. He has to be here somewhere.
No, not that one. Just my luck.
I owe you for this.
There we go.
I will get my entourage to meet us in orbit once we're clear of this mess.
So,
Extraction is ready. Remember, your success here depends on getting Darvo out of there, alive.
from here on out, now that it's a rescue mission and we've rescued our prospective guy, we've got to escort him out. But he does have a health bar, which you can see.
The Lotus must be desperate to send you fetching greedy fools from the corpus.
Lend me a sidearm, Tenno. I'll cover you. Which end does the hurting come out? I kid.
It should be noted that if he dies, he goes into what's known as a down state, which means you can pick him back up, kind of like in other games. But it's best to just not let that happen. One way to avoid that is not giving him a weapon. If you don't give him a weapon, he's not as likely to get left behind trying to attack things. Take him out stealthy-like. This is kind of why I like the stealthy approach to begin the game, just because you don't really have that much health, and getting into large extended firefights is not the best. You might have noticed there that those guys, and Darvo, but Darvo just a second, those guys were running away from me. It's not because they were scared, they were trying to activate the alarm. Darvo, by the way, was actually up there and now he's here. I think he teleports. I think most of the rescue targets teleport if they get too far away from you. So you really don't have to worry about them getting too far and like being left behind. Just keep moving.
Now the Ascaris has burrowed deep enough to give me influence. Shall we see how your shields work?
The Ascaris is letting Vor control your shield. We must figure out how to remove it. Avoid taking damage while I try and block him. You've been seen.
Now that we've been seen, this activates the alarm mechanic. As you can see, this panel has a waypoint on it now, meaning that from this panel I can deactivate the alarm. Let's just leave it on for now. It's not critical to turn it off. Although it does mean that the enemies know where I am as long as the alarm is going, and enemies will continue to spawn and escalate if I don't turn it off. Oh man, movement in this game, I love it. Never assume that you can't get over something just because you don't know how to jump to it. A small double jump will not get you as far as a sliding upwards bullet jump. You can get a lot more height with that. Alright, that finishes the second mission that we've gone through. And effectively, you can see our rewards. You can see that we got some more mods. And we also got the mod segment.
I see the operator can enable the mod segment now. Ordis will be delighted to show you how to upgrade your arsenal. May I recommend fire?
Yes, Ordis, you may. This here will be the mod segment.
Operator, I've linked the mod segment to your arsenal now. No need to thank me.
Upgrade your Warframe now.
Go to the arsenal to see the weapon upgrade options you have.
And this also introduces you to the arsenal. This is your arsenal. Effectively, this is where you select weapons.
Ordis
Warframes.
patiently awaits compliance in using the new arsenal features. It is for the operator's own good.
And other things. You can see that there's a loadout for companions, gear, and emotes. You can customize pretty much everything about this, and it's extremely useful to get familiar with these
Ordis
menus.
patiently awaits compliance in using the new arsenal features. It is for the operator's own good.
Let's just change up our colors real quick. Sure, that works.
Ordis patiently awaits compliance
I see. That's
in
what it
using
means
the
for me.
new arsenal features. It is for the operator's own good. An excellent find, operator. There are hundreds of these mods to locate. If my calculations are correct, there are exactly a lot of possibilities. Install the mod before we can continue.
So this system here is the mod system. This system is pretty critical to everything you do in Warframe, and I will go over it in depth in the next video. For now, I'm going to talk a little bit about like mods, how you get them, where they are, and that'll be it. I'm going to go over briefly. This system is so in-depth and there's so many different things you can do with it. Here you can see that my Warframe has 8 different slots, and there's also a slot up here and here. More on these kind of as they become more relevant, but for now I just took a mod that kind of fit this slot based on the little icon up in the upper right of it and put it in, just because I could. You'll also notice that this mod is damaged, which means that it's not really that great. Doesn't do as good as it could. and will be replaced by one that's not damaged later. You also should note that there's kind of a readout of what your Warframe stats are here, and your capacity for how many mods you can put in here, which each one takes up a bit of energy based on the number in the upper right corner. And that's kind of how you can improve your Warframe truly. Your rank really doesn't improve your Warframe as much as your mods will.
Thanks for helping me out back there. I'm in your debt, and I often pay my debts. I recognize that device. It's a parasitic restraint. We Corpus use something similar to keep our robotics in line. So, to settle my debt, I give you a very expensive blueprint. For free. Because I like you. And well, a lot of my customers don't live long with these grenade dogs chewing up the system. Here, use your foundry to build a countermeasure device from this blueprint. Good luck.
Vors Ascaris is burrowing into your Warframe. I'm worried it will affect your mind. I can't lose you, Tenno. We must restore the ship's foundry immediately. A nearby ore extraction colony will have the foundry technology you need. I am certain they will share it with you. Its location has been added to your navigation console.
Alright, so with that we move on to the next segment we need. I'm going to go over the arsenal a little bit more, and we'll talk about mods next time. The foundry will also be saved for getting next time. So, of course, your arsenal has many different things. You can equip different Warframes or weapons. You can upgrade them with mods. You can change the appearance of them in this section here. There's a bunch of different things you can do with Warframes, changing their helmets, their skins, and things like that. Truthfully, you don't really need to worry about that right off the bat. If you don't want to just press random colors on your color wheel, you can also select them, but you don't really have a great selection right off the bat. Colors are ironically one of the few things in this game that are kind of required to buy with Platinum. There are a couple that you can get with credits, but they're holiday items and it's kind of hard to get. If you're not on during the holidays, that is. So let's just change my appearance for my weapons. Wow, that matches. Copy Warframe colors. I kind of like this color scheme. It's not too bad, actually. I like the yellow and red. Kind of looks like Iron Man. And then there's a, for your Warframe, aside from your weapons, there's also a readout for your abilities. Your abilities can be changed with mods, and you can actually see how your mods change them by selecting this button here. It actually lists in your abilities as well that ability, the buff ability that I stated earlier. It's a Volt's passive ability. Each Warframe's passive ability is different, same with their abilities, of course. They're kind of like classes for other games. For your weapons, you don't have abilities with your weapons, but you can upgrade them, same with everything else. Again, we'll go into mods later. Your arsenal is paramount to everything you do, and it's really critical for selecting things and knowing what you've got when you've got it. You'll pretty much spend hours at your arsenal if you play this game really in depth. So for now, I think that's a good starting episode. If there's anything I didn't explain right now, I will come back to it at a later point. Feel free to leave a comment if you want me to explain something in particular. I'll make sure that I go over a lot of the things that I haven't explained so far in later episodes as the series progresses. I want to thank you all. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll leave a link to the Patreon, Twitter, and all that social media stuff below. Thank you guys, and have a nice day.